Okay, moving on to Red Reserve. We all thought Red Reserve would torment the division, especially after their tough loss in the grand finals at CWL Anaheim. But after week 5, it was actually the contrary. Red Reserve seemed to struggle a little bit. Clint, are Red Reserve experiencing a CWL Anaheim hangover?
I think there's a little bit of a hangover here, and I think it kind of boils down to this. Basically, I talked to the guys on Hot Mic. They came out of that tournament thinking they were the best team, or at least thinking, hey, it's Rise, Red, and everybody else. Sure. And I think they got into it, and then they were quickly reminded, hey, there's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of top teams. You know, they get reverse swept by Echo Fox. They go to a 5-game series with EG. There's just a lot of competition. I don't think they're far and away above the competition like necessarily Rise Nation is when you take a look at what they're able to do. Red is still a very, very good team. Honestly, it just frustrated me to see them not close out series. And the big thing has been they went 0-3 in CTF this week. They had opportunities to 3-0 bot people and just didn't close it out. I don't know if hangover is the right word, but maybe they just need a more reminder, kind of come back to earth a little bit. You guys still need to give 100% or you can't beat some of these NA squads.
All right. I mean, yeah, I had to agree with you there. There's a lot of the times where Red Reserve looked a little bit slow. Ben, what do you think?
Is it a hangover? Absolutely not. What, they lost a series? We're going to start hitting the panic button on Red Reserve? No. Why the hell would we?
I don't panic when I have a hangover.
They are still the best team in this division. And you just cannot make another argument. I don't care what you say. Some other teams, they held the #1 spot for how long? Minutes. That's about it. Red Reserve is the #1 team in the division. You bring up their CTF. Great point. 0-3. It's been tragic. It has been just catastrophic. But I think it's important they keep practicing Flak Tower CTF. I think it's a game mode that they really do need to hammer home. And if you are the #1 team in the division, I think you have that added flexibility. Yes, of course, you haven't guaranteed your spot at playoffs. And yes, you haven't guaranteed the #1 spot. But you definitely have the flexibility to test out some new stuff. Because at the end of the day, their biggest competition here is Rise. There's no if or but.
Certainly. And Ben, I don't think... I think they're the #1 team in the division. There's no argument there. But I do think they came out of it, not with egos exactly, but thinking, hey, man, we are the clear #1 or #2. Like, no one's going to touch us. So we're going to come in here and smoke people. And quickly, we're reminded just how competitive Call of Duty is this year. It took one series. Echo Fox reverse swept them. I mean, I think I see a little bit of a hangover in that.
Even in the first 2 weeks, they lost a series. They lost to EG. It's no big deal. We both sat and said we expect them to lose a series. It would be miraculous for them to go flawless. I don't think we can say it's a hangover period. I mean, individually, you look at some of the plays they've made and you think, wow, that's amazing. Have they made some stupid plays in CTF? Absolutely. We cannot argue that. But besides that, what else is there to point at? A couple of game 5s, one doesn't go their way, the reverse sweep. Besides that, they've been pretty close.
Well, I think one thing you can point at, too, though, you know, remember at this particular event, Rated said, like, it was bonehead plays that were really costing us. What's the first thing he's been tweeting this week? It's like the same problems, the same issue. A bonehead play here and there. Zero makes a mistake. Joe makes a mistake. It seems like it's like these same issues that are plaguing them. So, I don't know. I can see it as a bit of a hangover.
But if that's the same issues, how's that a hangover? It's the same stuff they've already been dealing with in the past. So, to me, it's
the big part of the hangover for me is just, I think it was more of like a reality check a little bit. Like, bring it back down. You guys have got to go all out, or there are teams here you were not going to beat easily.
All right, I like both sides of your arguments. I think you both bring up some good points here. I'm both going to give you 1 point. I know it's a disagreement here, but it just seems like, you know, there's not really one stronger side. I mean, Red Reserve, yes, they've had some falters in the past, but the big thing for me was on Thursday. It felt like they came out of their hangover when they're able to beat FaZe. So I think they did struggle a little bit early on. You just came out of a grand final, right? Everything's looking good. You know, you go on a bit of a vacation where, quite frankly, they could have had a hangover, right? When they were hanging out with all their friends in LA for an extra week.
It might have been a literal hangover.
Yes, absolutely. So these guys, I think it took them a little bit to start. And yes, they were up 2-0 in series. They have to win those CTFs. So I agree with both of you here. Red Reserve, though, still in a very comfortable spot.